You walk up, ready to make a connection. You've got your best shirt on, a smile in place, and hope riding on this moment. But within seconds, her interest fades. Her eyes glaze over. Her smile becomes polite. She's already pulling away. And here's the brutal truth, it's not because you're unattractive. It's not because you said the wrong thing. It's because she felt it, your weak energy. The absence of spark. The subtle leaning in, the invisible need. Machiavelli once warned of a fatal mistake in politics: the ruler who depends too much on the approval of others is already conquered. The same truth applies to desire. If she feels you need her more than you stand your own ground, you've already lost. Attraction is not born from comfort. It's not born from a checklist of polite questions. It's born from tension. From presence. From the sense that this man does not bend, even when the moment grows heavy. If being nice has ever made you invisible, this is for you. 1. Stop using questions as a crutch. She doesn't lose interest because you run out of words. She loses interest the moment she feels you aren't really there. That nervous grin. That desperate search for the next safe question. That subtle handing over of the moment, hoping she'll carry it for you. Nothing exposes this faster than leading with the same recycled openers she's heard 100 times. Take Evan, a 32-year-old architect. He saw Julia at a rooftop bar, stunning, magnetic. He walked over and asked, "So, what do you do?" She answered politely. He followed with, "Where are you from? Then, how long have you been here?" To him, it felt like respectful small talk. To her, it felt like a job interview. She had been here before, dozens of times. The same questions, the same nervous smiles, the same invisible begging for validation. She caught the subtle signs. The way his shoulders tilted as if asking for permission, the forced chuckle, the pause while he scrambled for the next question. In under 2 minutes, her mind was already drifting. The problem wasn't his words, it was the lack of weight behind them. Machiavelli would call it a fatal misstep, giving the role of leader to the very person you hope will follow you. In the theater of attraction, the man who starts as an interviewer is never cast as the lead. Desire doesn't grow from collecting facts. It grows from the feeling you create. Evan thought curiosity meant asking questions. She read it as neediness. He thought shining the spotlight on her would make her feel special. She felt the pressure of carrying him. Ask yourself, how much of what you call respect is really just surrender in disguise? Instead of leading with safe questions, start with presence. Lead with your observation. Your mood. Your world. Set the stage, and then invite her into it. When you do, she won't lean in to rescue the conversation, she'll lean in because she's curious about the man who already owns the moment. 2. Stand your ground, the split-second test. She doesn't step back because of your looks. She steps back because, in a split second, she feels your energy bending toward hers, waiting for approval. That half-smile she gives. That moment her eyes stop locking with yours. That subtle shift in her body. That's the exact moment the game is lost. Marcus, a 35-year-old sales manager, looked perfect on paper. Sharp career. Great suit. Confident smile. But when he met Claire at a dinner party, his presence told a different story. He asked about her work. Silence hung in the air. He panicked. He filled it with another question, then another. His words were fine. His delivery was not. His shoulders hunched forward, his voice softened, his eyes searched her face for approval. She wasn't listening to what he asked. She was reading who he was. Could he stay steady under pressure? Could he hold his ground if she disagreed? Or would he fold into whatever shape pleased her most? She had her answer in 2 minutes. It wasn't his resume that turned her off, it was the silent broadcast in his energy: I need you to like me, or I don't know who I am. Machiavelli would have named it instantly: the man who seeks permission has already surrendered power. In the theater of attraction, your presence is the stage. Your words are just props. If the stage shakes, the entire scene collapses. Marcus thought his politeness was respect. She read it as self-doubt wrapped in manners. He thought letting her steer was charming. She saw a man unsure if he belonged in the driver's seat. The antidote? Stand your ground. Shoulders open. Voice steady. Eyes resting instead of searching. Speak as if your words already carry weight, without waiting for her to stamp them with value. Do this, and you'll notice something shift. People, women, friends, even rivals, begin to lean in. Not to rescue you, but to join you. That's when you stop chasing presence and start radiating it. 3. Disagreement is not a threat. The first time she disagrees with you isn't a problem, it's a hidden test. Most men fail it instantly by rushing to agree, smoothing over tension, or laughing nervously to keep things light. But here's the truth: the second you fold, she doesn't think you're nice. She wonders if you'll collapse in every conflict life throws your way. Brian, 35, met Hannah at a party. They had been talking for 10 minutes when he said, "I like this place. Feels calm, almost like the storm's past." She tilted her head. "I don't know. I think it feels pretentious." That was the moment. Brian's chest tightened. He didn't want friction. So he laughed and said, "Yeah, I guess it's not that great." It took 3 seconds for her energy to shift. Cooler. Distant. Something had broken, not his opinion, but his frame. She wasn't testing his take on a bar. She was testing whether he could hold ground when the air grew heavy. He just told her, "No, I can't." Machiavelli wrote, "The man who abandons his position to please another has already declared himself the weaker party." In the silent politics of attraction, a small retreat in words becomes a collapse in perception. Brian thought agreement meant connection. She read it as surrender. He thought avoiding conflict was maturity. She saw a man afraid to stand alone. Here's the truth: attraction doesn't come from mirroring her views. It comes from creating a frame she wants to step into. So next time she pushes back, don't scramble. Don't shrink. Keep your posture relaxed. Keep your tone calm. Hold your ground. Say, "I get that," then continue with your original stance. She won't lean in because she agrees. She'll lean in because you've proven you don't collapse under pressure. 4. Use tension to your advantage. Polite conversations are forgettable. Smooth exchanges vanish from memory. What lingers is tension, the spark, the charge, the edge. Think about it. When was the last time you remembered a conversation that was safe? You don't. Because safety without spark is invisible. The same principle that makes a scene from a movie stick in your head is the same one that makes you unforgettable to her: emotional tension. Ethan, 32, went on a second date with Maya. He played it safe. Asked polite, neutral questions: "Do you like the food? What kind of music do you like?" She answered politely. But her eyes kept drifting. He had a chance to spark something when she mentioned a street in her neighborhood. He could have teased her, disagreed playfully, or shared a bold take. But he let it slip. He stayed safe. And in that safety, he became forgettable. Machiavelli would say he lost control of the stage. In desire, emotion is the lighting. Tension is the shadow. Kill the tension, and you kill the memory. When you dare to hold a little uncertainty, when you let play, challenge, or curiosity breathe in the space, you stop being a polite man. You become an experience. And experiences are the ones she replays in her mind long after the moment ends. 5. Stop chasing approval in real time. Approval seeking is the invisible poison of attraction. It's not always obvious. You may not beg, plead, or flatter. But it shows in micro moments, the quick laugh at her joke even when you didn't find it funny, the "me too" when she shares a preference, the way your energy tilts toward her as if she's the prize and you're the contestant. Women feel this instantly. Attraction dies the second she realizes you've placed her above you. David, 28, met Serena at a lounge. She mentioned she loved indie films. He'd never really watched them, but he blurted, "Oh yeah, me too." It seemed harmless. But she felt it, the instant reshaping of identity to fit hers. Machiavelli warned, the man who adjusts himself too quickly becomes predictable, and the predictable man is powerless. Attraction doesn't come from aligning with everything she says. It comes from showing you're unshaken by difference. Stop chasing approval in real time. Listen. Smile if it's genuine. Push back if you feel it. Show her that her words inform you, but never redefine you. 6. Master the art of pauses. Silence terrifies most men. They scramble to fill gaps with chatter, hoping to keep her attention alive. But nothing screams weakness louder than the inability to sit still in your own presence. Julian, 31, was on a date when the conversation dipped. Instead of relaxing into the pause, he fired questions like bullets. So, what's your favorite food? Do you like traveling? Been to Europe? She smiled politely, but inside, she felt the desperation. Silence is not emptiness. It's a mirror. It reflects whether you're comfortable in your own skin. When you pause deliberately, hold her gaze, sip your drink, rest in the moment, you send a powerful message: I am not here to entertain you. I am here to share space, and I'm fine if silence visits us. Machiavelli would note, the man who controls the rhythm of the room controls the room itself. Use pauses as weapons. They build tension. They force her to lean in. They make your words land heavier when you finally choose to speak. 7. Speak with edges, not polished rounds. Safe men round off every edge in their words. They polish their sentences until nothing sharp remains, thinking smoothness equals charm. But charm without edges is invisible. Women remember the men whose words carried shape, contrast, and bite. Think of language as sculpture. A bland block is forgettable. But carve edges, through humor, play, opinion, or storytelling, and suddenly it has form. Leo, 29, was on a date. She asked what he thought about a trendy new restaurant. Instead of saying, "It's nice," he smirked and said, "Looks like a place that serves $15 water, but sure, let's test it." She laughed, not because she agreed, but because he had the courage to add texture. Edges create tension. Tension creates memory. Smooth men are liked. Edged men are remembered. 8. Stop explaining yourself. One of the fastest ways to kill attraction is over-explaining. You make a statement, then immediately soften it with disclaimers. I mean, unless you don't like that, but that's just me, maybe I'm wrong. Every time you add layers of apology, you bleed power. Connor, 34, told a woman, "I don't really like nightclubs." She raised an eyebrow. He panicked. "I mean, sometimes they're fun. I guess it depends on the vibe, not that I hate them. I've gone a lot actually." By the end, he wasn't even standing on his own words. He had dissolved into mush. Machiavelli would have called it death by self-sabotage. The man who weakens his stance with endless clarifications proves he doesn't trust his own voice. Say what you believe. Then stop. Let the silence carry it. If she disagrees, fine. If she presses, better. The man who can leave his words hanging without apology is the man she respects. 9. Control the frame, or lose it. Attraction is a battle of frames. Whose worldview becomes the stage for the interaction? Most men unconsciously step into her frame. She sets the tone, and he dances inside it. If she's dismissive, he becomes apologetic. If she's cold, he becomes eager. If she's sarcastic, he tries harder to impress. But the man who controls the frame bends reality in his favor. When she tests with sarcasm, he doesn't explain himself, he flips it playfully. When she acts cold, he doesn't chase, he stays grounded, making her curiosity work overtime. Frame control isn't arrogance. It's leadership. It's saying, this is the world I live in. You're welcome to join, but I won't shrink into yours. Machiavelli would see it as politics at the personal scale, the one who dictates the terms of engagement dictates the outcome. Control the frame, and you control the memory. 10. Leave her wanting more. Most men overstay. They talk until the energy dies, they text until the thread fizzles, they linger until the goodbye feels heavy. Scarcity fuels desire. The moment she feels she has you fully, the spark dims. Adrian, 30, was at a coffee shop with a woman. Conversation flowed, sparks flew. But instead of leaving at the peak, he stayed. Another 20 minutes. Then another 30. By the time he left, the energy had flattened. Contrast that with the man who leaves while the tension still hums. Who exits on a high note, leaving her replaying the best moments, curious about what else is hidden in him. This is why performers never drag out their encore. The show ends when the applause is still rising. Machiavelli would remind us, desire is sustained by withholding as much as by giving. So leave before the moment cools. Let her wonder. Let her chase the unfinished story. The final step. Attraction isn't built on approval. It's built on energy. On conviction. On the right amount of tension. This isn't about tricks. It isn't about clever lines. It's about becoming the man whose presence is a world of its own. A man who doesn't fold at the first sign of pressure. A man whose voice carries weight, and whose silence carries even more. That kind of man isn't just noticed. He's remembered. Respected. Desired. If you're ready to stop performing for approval, stop chasing, and start owning the space you walk into, then you're on the right track. Because the moment you master yourself, you'll never need to chase anyone again.